Okay, in this video, we are going to talk about poetic form. We're going to look at this poem specifically by Cale Young Rice called From Above. So when we talk about poetic form, we're talking about the way that a poem is structured through four things: stanza, line, rhythm, and rhyme. So we're going to look at those four things in this poem right here. So please mark up the text with me using markers, highlighters, etc. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the word line. So when I talk about lines in poetry, I'm talking literally about one line. Okay, so this is a line of poetry. So in this poem we have 3, 6, 9, 12 lines in the poem From Above. Okay, so that's easy enough to understand. Next one, a stanza. A stanza is a group of lines before a break. So we can see there are these three breaks between the stanzas. So this right here would be stanza 1, this right here, stanza 2, this right here, stanza 3, this right here, stanza 4. So we have 4 stanzas in this poem and 12 lines. Okay, so that is a part of this poem's form. The next two parts are a little bit trickier. We're going to talk first about rhythm. So in music, there's always a rhythm or a beat. So when you're listening to a song and you kind of tap your foot to a beat, that's also called rhythm in poetry. So rhythm in poetry is determined by its stressed and unstressed syllables. So let's look at this first line. I'm going to use little markings to show which syllables are stressed and which syllables are not. We're not going to learn how to do this in this class because it's a little bit challenging, but it's still mark with me because it is interesting. Okay, so what, stressed, do I care, stressed. So you can see these little straight lines mean the syllable is stressed. These little curved ones are unstressed. So what do I care if the trees are bare? So you can hear the rhythm in this. What do I care if the trees are bare? There are 4 stressed syllables. So it's a definitely a structured rhythm here. You can hear it as I tap along. Okay, so there is a structured rhythm in this poem. So that is a part of its form. So let's go ahead and write rhythm. So you can tell if a poem has rhythm is if you are reading it and you feel like you can tap or clap along. That's how you know if it has rhythm. Okay? Let's move on to rhyme. Okay, rhyme is different than rhythm. When words rhyme, they sound the same, right? So we have gray, way, would, good, etc. Okay, so the rhyme pattern, how you can find this out is we can look at these lines. What do I care if the trees are bare and the hills are dark and the skies are gray? Bare, dark, and gray do not rhyme. However, if we jump to stanza 2, what do I care for the chill in the air? We can see that bare and air rhyme. Okay, so they follow the same rhyme pattern, A. And the hills are dark for the crows that cark. Okay, so they're following a rhyme pattern. See how A and A match, B and B match. And the skies are gray at the rough wind's way. So they're following C. So the rhyme pattern for this poem would be A, B, C, A, B, C. We can see it again in these 2 stanzas, right? What do I care for the dead leaves there? Or the sullen road, to bear my load, so enough, the day is good, by the sullen wood. The rhyme scheme continues here. There and heart actually don't rhyme, so the poet is purposely breaking the rhyme scheme here, which is always for a purpose. Anyway, so let's label this here as the rhyme. Okay, so here are the 4 main parts of a poem structure. We have lines, stanzas, rhythm, and rhyme. So let's move down to this little chart here and go ahead and pause this video and see if you can answer these 4 questions on your own. So go ahead and pause for a minute and fill it out on your own. Okay, let's see how well you did. So how many stanzas does this poem have? Remember we talked about it, so let's back up here. We have 4 stanzas. Okay, we have 4 stanzas. How many lines are in each stanza? If we look up here, we have 1, 2, 3. Do any of the lines rhyme? We're going to say yes. And in parentheses, go ahead and actually write down what the rhyme scheme is. Rhyme scheme means the pattern of rhyme in the poem. It's ABC, ABC. Okay, then do the sentences always end at the end of a line? If we look here, they actually don't, right? So, what do I care for the chill in the air, for the crows that cark at the wind, what rough wind's way? We can see this whole stanza as a sentence. Each line is not a sentence. So we're going to go ahead and write no. Okay, so knowing how to look for these 4 things in a poem is really important because it allows us to actually analyze the form and why a poet would choose to structure it this way. So why the poet would choose to have 4 stanzas, 3 lines in each stanza, why they would choose to rhyme certain words, and why they would choose to continue sentences on to the next line. Okay, so here we have the basics of poetic form.